Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. With me today is Chanda Rigby. She is the head coach of the Trojan women's basketball team. And as always, Chanda, it's amazing to have you in the studio. So.
Thank you so much. I know what this means when you call me to come on the show. It means the season is right around the corner, so we're so excited.
Around the corner. And before we get into this season, I always like to go back and recap how the last season ended. And although there was a disappointing end to conference, you still got to play in a national tournament. And there were still opportunities for the team there in postseason. So going from last season to this season, how do you carry that over into this season? So.
Well, make no mistake, we are thankful that we got to be in the WNIT. That is a huge honor. Only been done, I think, twice here before. But, you know, it's not our goal. Our goal hasn't changed. We want to get in that, win the Sun Belt Conference Tournament Championship. We won the regular season championship, but win the tournament championship so we can get in the NCAA tournament. And we think we've learned enough from our mistakes and our wins that we feel like we can make a run in there, and we just want to get back. So we're hungry to do that.
And let's talk a little bit about personnel this year, because if you look at your roster, and there's a lot of underclassmen, which is kind of an unusual thing for your program. Talk about like the roster and how that's working out this year.
We only have 2 returning players that got significant minutes last year that started several games. And one of them happens to be the Sun Belt player, preseason player of the year, Felmus Karangas. So it's not you know, the cupboards aren't bare.
Yeah.
So we have almost a whole new team. We can't wait for people to come out and meet them and see them. Fantastic group of young women, but they're very talented. Of course, they're very talented. So whereas some coaches might be a little uneasy about the newness of the team and them coming together and playing well, I know we're going to be fine. I know we're going to be fine because they all came here for the purpose of what we're all doing here to win championships. They seem so far to be very focused on that. You know, you draw the line. It does away with selfishness if you're all really bought into that. So we have a lot going for us right now.
Of course, and you mentioned there, you got Felmus coming back and preseason player of the year, and that's enough, almost enough, just to be able to go in the season with anybody else with you. Because I mean, amazing athlete. But talk about Felmus and obviously the preseason accolades, and then having her come back and be able to lead this team like she did last year.
Right. So I think the most disappointing moment in the Sun Belt Conference since in the off season was the fact that Felmus came back. You know, she was granted an extra year, but she got her degree last year, and she has very big plans for what she wants to go back to Kenya and do relating to the orphanage there close to her home. She's going to be a counselor. But so there was a lot of buzz about her not coming back and her just being finished. But she decided to come back. She wants to get that counseling degree so she can go back and offer her services there back home. And so it was to the dismay of my opponents and to the rejoicing of my coaching staff and I that Felmus is back.
And we'll talk a little about the conference. You mentioned the conference because there's a new look conference this year. There's new teams, different scheduling kind of concepts. Talk about the addition of the new teams and what it's going to mean for the conference schedule this year.
A few years ago, the Sun Belt adopted a slogan, rising, Sun Belt rising, like the sun rising, I guess. They played upon that. But I think these new teams are doing just that. They're helping this conference to rise in women's basketball, other sports as well. I mean, they've done a lot in football that we've seen, but definitely in women's basketball. You've got Old Dominion. They're coming in kind of like the foe to us right now because they're that defensive juggernaut, whereas we try to be the offensive juggernaut. Their net score was a little bit better than ours. They ended the season up a little bit better. So I'm just trying to take that as, you know, I love the underdog spirit. So it's hard to pretend like you're the underdog when you're the preseason conference team of the year, which we were voted and we're grateful for. But we're using that edge as that we're an underdog because we're trying to find any way we can to be as hungry as we can.
And of course, in the scheduling, the West teams you're going to play home and away, and then you've just got one single games with East teams this year, right? So.
Right, and then one team you don't play the way it works out, and that team that we don't play in the regular season is Old Dominion. If you can figure that, so we would only see them in the tournament.
Yeah, so the opportunity there. So, and let's talk about the schedule outside of conference because I joked with you that you're not liking the Trojan fans because you're not playing a single game before December in Trojan Arena. So.
And we are sad about that. We're so sad, but we hope the Trojan fans save up their attendances and things and come to our games when we are in town. We are on the road a lot this year. You know, it wasn't completely by design. We want to play at home, but we are trying to play the best competition that will play us, for net score rankings and to get better. So, we do go to UCLA and play. We do play Washington State, who's a top 50 team. We do play BYU, who was number 11 in the nation last year. We do go to Arkansas, who runs the same fast break system we do, basically, but, they're a higher level Power 5. So those teams, they weren't going to negotiate to come here to Troy, so we're going to them. And one of those trips, we're going to be out in Los Angeles playing UCLA, go down to San Francisco and play, and then we're going to get to fly and have that trip paid for to go out to Hawaii and to be in that tournament.
So you can't turn down a trip to Hawaii,
No.
this time of year as well, so.
I'm excited for my team to get to go and see that and see the competition we're going to see there. It's going to be phenomenal.
And first opportunity to see the Trojans at home will be when?
It's going to be, you tell me, the 7th?
I think so. That's right.
Yes. So December 7th, and then we'll be back home after a lengthy time.
That's probably like 3 weeks, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, or almost a month, I guess.
Yes.
'Cause
I don't know why I don't know
you start on November 7th, and you come back, so it's a month away, and you come back here and play.
Yes.
So folks get a chance to see you in Trojan Arena.
That's right.
Finally, once December rolls around, but then when spring rolls around, they'll be able to see you all the time at Trojan Arena, winning another conference championship.
I hope so. We got a big task. We got a long way to go in a short time to get there, but I believe we can do it.
All right, we got to put that hammer down and give them heck. All right, so Chanda, thanks for joining us today, and good luck on the season. So,
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk.